Hi, friends. We're going to try this again because technology was not on my side just now. But here we are. I wanted to carve out a little time to talk about the first week of December. We are in it. Y'all made it through Gratitude Week, or however you celebrated last week, to have some time for support and connection to the land, or giving back to Indigenous people, being with family and eating nourishing food and being grateful for what we have, or however you celebrated or had carved out time for yourself, and hopefully a little less work than usual. Here we are. We are in December. We are in the last month of 2026. I really want us to hold and feel that, so that it doesn't come around feeling like, where did it go? In Catholic and some Christian churches, we do Advent, which is every week leading up to Christmas, or the last week of December. There's a wreath and there's a candle, and we're kind of keeping track by week. So I want to just have a frame for the week. We also, this week is a very big week. We have the last full moon of 2025. Full moon in Gemini is coming up on Thursday. So I'm going to talk about that in a bit. But I wanted to, let's start with just creating a little bit of warmth. It's getting into the cold season. It's getting into the shorter days, longer nights. So let's start with just making our own warmth, our own fire. And then putting it somewhere you want some warmth. You can play with this. It's very cold in my house, even with a space heater, even though it's sunny outside. All right, I'll let you continue to play with the warmth, making your own. I want to share, in lieu of a reading this week, I wanted to share something that happened. My parents recently had a visit. I was able to kind of rethink and reframe and do something differently in a way that was really helpful and effective. And I want to offer it instead of a reading. And just as the reading, I'll talk, and you can just kind of think, and if this resonates, great. If it doesn't, just let it go. If you're like, I've been doing this forever, then come teach me things. I love that, and I hope you have. But this is just a little small offering. Something that happens in my family is that when we get together, this happens with my parents, but this might also happen with friends you've had for a really long time, or other family members that have known you over time. They like to just tease, and they'll just kind of tease little versions of me over time, like, oh, remember this, and launch into it. And usually what happens is I return back to that age. I get really snippy or angry, or feel, because I'm feeling a lot of hurt and a lot of shame. And then they're like, oh yeah, look, remember, you still are kind of like totally a teenager in this way. And then they move on, and I'm having a tough time to reset. And so this time, instead, what I did is just created a little bit of space and understanding for the little me at that time. And maybe you will too. I'm saying this also because sometimes at the end of the year, or towards some of the festivities of lights or holidays coming up, people return home, see people that this might come up. So I'm just offering it just in case. So the example that has, and this is just one, there's many, but the one example I have to offer is it's about laundry. Like, I was in college, I was 18, it was my first semester. I got a stain on something, and instead of I didn't really know how to do anything. I just knew soaking it was a good idea. So I put it in water, but then I put it in the bag of my closet. And when my parents finally came to get it, it did smell like the worst thing that's ever happened. It didn't make any sense. It was awful. So they're bringing it up. It's now been a decade. It's time has passed. And they're launching into it. I can see what's happening. I can see myself start to get into the oh, we're bringing this up again thing. And then instead I was just yeah, I was really young. I just went to college. I Mom had wanted to do my laundry when I was little because she, took care of us and took care of the home. And I didn't have those skills and I had to really learn them. And now I know all of these things. And it was so fun. And I got to see my parents, really think about that and really like see that and really see me. And even my mom was like, oh yeah, we didn't even have OxyClean or things like that. Like maybe we could have treated it, new things have happened since then. All to say, just creating a little space and a little thing for little me really, really made a difference. And I hope that whatever ways your family might be showing up with you, maybe this holiday season, maybe this next year that's about to come up, there's a new role, there's a new action you can take. And I say that especially, and I'm planting this as a seed because it is the full moon in Gemini this week. It comes on Thursday, December 4th, 3:15 p.m. PDT, so in the afternoon here, and it is the last full moon. It is in Gemini, so we're seeing 360 perspective of all the things that are coming up. It's also the last in a series of 3 supermoons that happened in October, November, and now. So there's a little bit of an arc too for the fall, things that you might want to see in a new perspective, things that are noodling around up here in the headspace. But really, this moon is very powerful for rethinking your patterns, your triggers, capital and lowercase t triggers, the things that are big reactions that might not be perceivable based on what's there. That might not be such a big reaction if not for other things that have happened that you're energetically, emotionally, physically being brought up. And this new moon in Gemini, full moon in Gemini, is a great time to see that, to see all the perspectives, because Gemini isn't only the twin. It's not just the front and the back perspective. Gemini is also one twin is mortal and one twin is immortal. And so when it comes to the relationship patterns, the challenges we're having, even the goals that we're setting for ourselves, we have a moment now as we close this year to see the 3D, the what's here, flesh, bone, body, and the beyond. What does this mean spiritually, emotionally, lineage wise, family role wise? What am I playing? Do I need to be playing that anymore? What is my reaction? Do I need to be reacting like that in this moment? This moon is great for that. This moon is really great for some reflection questions that I've shared. I've shared a bunch of information on the full moon if you want to also swipe through and see those. You might think, which fresh, rich perspective is emerging for myself at this time? What is a new perspective? What is the front, back, intuitive side? What have I been working to release? And what is more clear to me now that I'm ready to accept as is? This is a great moment for really seeing what is here. And I think, we had a new moon in Scorpio recently, and that brought up, okay, what was under the surface, right? What was underneath emotionally that's now up. This moon is giving us a chance to cycle back to that and to say, all right, well, if that's what's up, then what does it mean? What am I really seeing? Why was that what was in my cellar? Why was I keeping those things below? What else am I keeping below? And how can I shift my thinking about where I am and where I'm going and who I am in relationships and what those relationships mean? How can I shift all of that in order to do something differently? To have another perspective. And because Gemini is ruled by Mercury, it has a lot about communication, but it's not a talking sign. Gemini is also very creative. This is a great time for how do I communicate without words? How do I communicate even better in visual art or dance or by making something? How am I able to communicate to myself and to others without necessarily just having the right words at the right time? This is a great moon, a great week to think about those things. If you'd like to do that in community, I will be at Ground Floor Club on Thursday, actually on the full moon time, and working with folks to reflect and go through this. Otherwise, I'm glad that you're here, and I hope you carve out some time on Thursday for your own reflection, for your own creative play, for your own rethinking. And as we close, let's just get a moment to get a message. What do we need to hear? Ooh, all right, we've got the Eight of Wands. I'm using the Tarot of the Divine. This is Yoshi Yashatani's deck that takes all the tarot and connects them to folklore all around the world. So this is the Eight of Wands. Eight of Wands is the go card. It's in Wands, the fire suit. In Modern Witch, it has like a little motorcycle at the bottom because they're just going. This is let's do it card. So if you've been sitting on something, if the things that came up, during eclipse season in the fall, during the new moon Scorpio, during whatever season, circumstances for yourself, if things have been coming up and you've been kind of just letting them be, letting them sit, if you were planning to zip yourself up and hold your breath until this entire holiday season is over yet again, maybe this is a chance to do something differently. Maybe this is a chance to reclaim your own holidays, to reclaim the season of light and joy and cheer, to redefine this end of the year for yourself, to use wisely the last few weeks of 2025. This also is connected here to Lenape. I lived in New York for a long time. The Lenape legend in North America. Rainbow crow. Ooh. The Eight of Wands represents quick, decisive actions. The rainbow crow flies quickly to deliver warmth to the cold earth below, singeing his wings in the process. His sacrifice and swift journey are fruitful. Oh, look, this is the rainbow crow of fire and action coming down to this little wintry, cute, Christmassy, like holiday, winter snuggy, festival of light type scene. Cute. I love it. I wish it for you. And I will, hope you have a lovely full moon in Gemini. I have a lot of events to close up the year coming up, so you can check those out. Otherwise, I'll see you next week.